Welcome one and all to the Mudai Manga Book Club podcast. Today's episode 35 of Beasts and Men. My name is Louie, and I haven't been away. You've been away. No, I've been away. Sad face. I'm joined with my co-host.
What? Oh, no, I promised I would be on the episode. I never promised I would say anything.
Tom! And that's it. That's all you hear
hi,
from Tom.
Everybody. Welcome. Yep. Well, see you all next week. Have fun on the rest of the show, Louie.
Finally, he's gone. All for me. Okay, now that Tom's gone, let's see what we can do. I will talk about things that I've been doing and having fun and listening to this week / couple weeks. And then I will talk about Frontier Lord Begins with Zero Subjects, Light Novel Volume 2, or Manga Volume 3 and 4. And Tom may eventually show up if he feels like it. Tom, do you feel like it?
This is even funnier because we were thinking about recording this on our own, and we've almost turned this episode into that.
Yeah.
on a technicality of a joke.
Yep.
This is great. Just going to hang up and record my own episode.
Fine.
The hookers, blackjack, and no one forget the episode.
Oh, Futurama. So many quotes.
So, what have you been up to, Louie, before we get distracted by something much funnier than ourselves?
Okay. I tried to remember everything I read. I'm pretty sure I didn't read as much as I meant to since
It's been a couple weeks, everybody.
haven't been recording.
Recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sent away for work, so I am now back.
He was sent away.
Sent away.
To the island. The island. And some other places, too.
Yes. Technically, one is an island.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Perfect.
That's also where the show came from, too.
The island?
I guess the prisoner.
Oh,
the
yeah.
TV show The Prisoner. They
Yes.
call it the island.
Yes, that's right.
I think. Yeah.
You think?
I think. I don't. I mean, I think that's what they call it on The Simpsons.
Well, yes, that is true.
Because I don't think on the actual show they do it that overly dramatic of just the island.
I doubt it. And I had.
So what have you been reading?
So
nobody cares about what you think about that joke, Louie. Move on.
So let's see.
It's gonna be a great episode.
I read the 7th book of The Wandering Inn, which is The Reigns of Lascore. This is one of those online, I'm not sure if there's a technical name for it, but it's one of those...
A web novel?
It's a web novel, yeah. Okay, there is a technical name for it. So this is their 7th book. This is by Pirate Abba. I listened to this on Audible.
Okay.
It's good. The way this story works, it just continuously goes. It's not like it's written in book forms per se. Like there are definite beginnings and ends, but it's not like a one overall arc. It's just like a continuous stream for the most part. Okay. So this one, Lascore is the major city where Anne and the other people transported to this world go. Well, Anne's the main one. She runs the Watering Inn. And that's like the main focus of the story, but then there are other characters throughout the world. So this one focused a lot more on the score, and it kind of, I think by this book, it's been 6 months since she's been there.
Okay.
There's a lot that goes on, so I'm trying to remember it all. But the big things in this one is that in the score, there's 2 races. There's, technically 3. So there's the Drakes, which are dragon-like people, but they're very much not. They don't have. Some of them have wings, but for the most part, it's just standard humanoid-looking lizard people, but not lizard people. Those are different. These are drakes, because lizard people are something else. So they're descendants of dragons, and then there's also wolf-like people, and I'm trying to remember their destiny. So those are like the 2 main species in the city, and then there's also humans, but they are very much on the minority, because of the way the geography and where all the different species are. So in this one, just the way that Lascore is positioned, it rains almost every day now. So the whole area gets flooded. So it's them dealing with that. And then there's also the group of ant people called the Antinium who live underground there. who are kind of... There's a lot of political things going on with them, but one of the big things that's happening in this era right now is that a dungeon was discovered in the area, and things have been coming out of it. And in this one, a big invasion of things called face eater moths came out. Think of moths, but they look like they have like a mouthful of teeth on the front. They range from the size of a moth to the size of a school bus.
Oh.
Is what came out of the dungeon.
Okay.
And just start attacking everything. And it's like, okay, yeah. So that was a big part of this story and the idea of the rain. But then there's also a lot of like the political side of it. And the thing about this world is that there are dungeons everywhere. And what you kind of learn why that is. But it has to do with because people level, they don't really try to learn things. So so say I'm leveling up as a farmer. I level up, I become better at farming, and then I get a skill that makes me farm even better or grow something.
Yeah.
Why would someone who's not a farmer learn how to farm then?
Right.
Or say I'm a craftsman and I know how to make lanterns, and I have a skill that lets me make lanterns. However, you are a person, you just do stuff, you make things, but you don't have a skill that helps you make lanterns. So you never learn how to make lanterns, so you don't bother writing it down. So thus, if the person with the skill disappears, no one knows how to make it anymore.
Lanterns.
Yeah. Until someone else gets that skill. So the whole world is kind of at this weird kind of equilibrium where no one really progresses, because as soon as someone progresses, then it's forgotten as soon as that person is no longer there, and everything drops back down. So it's just like waves of innovation / stagnation. So there's civilizations that are huge and then gone all over the world that have been forgotten, but then they have magical implements that are really powerful that get dug up in these dungeons. However, there are, I think, 3 kinds of dungeons. There's the typical dungeon where this is a kingdom that just got forgotten, so it's more of a abandoned village or abandoned city that got buried. So things just kind of moved in, but it's more just, this was a city that just got crushed by weather and things like that. So that's a kind of dungeon. Then there's a dungeon that was created to test people. Like, we're making this obstacle to kind of reward the worthy. And then the really interesting ones are called vengeance dungeons. So these are dungeons created when a civilization is about to die. We're on our last legs. Everything's going wrong. There's a natural disaster or something. So we create this dungeon to hoard all of our stuff and just set up traps and crazy things to defend it, because we don't want anyone to take our things. So they're called vengeance dungeons. That's the one that's by the score. Minor spoiler. So because of that, it's really, really strong. So it's a really crazy dungeon that they're finding. And it's all about, okay, how do we deal with this? That's the main thing. And there's a bunch of other like side stories going on at the same time. But that's the big one for the main character. So, yeah, cool. It's good. And then I'm reading the next one, so going from there. Yeah. So you can read them all online for free. The audiobook you have to pay for. I think they're up to book 13. But you can read every chapter, and then you can read them as they come out, too. So it's The Wandering Inn. I did Reigns of Lascore. It's a cool one. There's a lot of cool ideas in it. The characters are really fun and interesting. The whole system of powers and how leveling and things like that work is interesting. If you're interested, check it out. It's free if you just want to read it online.
Yeah.
And then I read, because I saw a bunch of stuff about the new anime that came out. I'm going to say the name wrong, most likely.
Gachiakuta.
Yeah, that one. Gachiakuta.
Yep.
So I read Volume 1. The literal translation is legit trash. So this was created by a former Fire Force assistant. So Fire Force was a story created by the guy who made Soul Eater. So Fire Force is also really popular right now. But this is a story about a person who was thrown out with the trash. So the idea is that there's a civilization up really high. Anything that is considered not usable anymore or trash gets thrown off the edge. And that trash comes tumbling down, lands down at the bottom. The people who live up there don't know what's down there. That you can't see, it's too far.
Yeah.
But then there's also the idea of once things are old enough, this is a Japanese thing, once things are old enough, they get a spirit of themselves. Yep. So there's a lot of that too. So this first book is interesting. It's the main character's name is Rudo. He is, through no fault of his own, tried for murder, and the punishment for murder, actually it sounds like the punishment for a lot of things, is you are thrown over the side. They go out with the trash. So he gets thrown over the side because everyone thought it's like once you go over there, it's pretty much there's nothing. You're just gone.
Yeah.
So he lands on the ground, somehow not dead. And when he gets down there, he finds that there's actually people and beasts and things down there. And he is trying to figure out how to get back up. Because theoretically there's a way, but no one really knows about how to do it. But by being... So one of the big things for him is that he has these gloves. And he's had them for his whole life. And that's kind of where the idea of things have a soul comes in. Okay, because there's... His gloves have kind of become a soul. And then he meets other people who have the same thing, but different stuff. And there's a lot of that that's going to happen. It's interesting. The art's really cool. It's very stylized. It has the kind of... It reminds me a lot of Dr. Stone. It has a really like thick line, thin line kind of styling, very almost visceral sometimes. But it's really cool. So if you liked Fire Force kind of art style, this is, I think, pushed a little farther. So that was really good. So that's interesting. I'll probably check out the next ones.
Cool. Then
I finished Tokyo Ghoul Re. So this is the sequel to Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, that took a while. That was a lot of the reading.
Okay.
So that was, I forget how many chapters that is.
It's like 16 books.
Yeah. It's longer than Tokyo Ghoul.
By like 2 books, yeah.
Yeah, not by
probably
much.
Like 15, 20 chapters more. So Tokyo Ghoul is like half, and then Tokyo Ghoul Re is the other half, plus a little.
Yeah. So Tokyo Ghoul Re takes place a little bit after Tokyo Ghoul, and then Tokyo Ghoul Re is... You could say it finishes the story. There's a lot of stuff that happens in Tokyo Ghoul Re that I don't want to spoil, because if I say anything, it spoils Tokyo Ghoul. But it's really good. Yep. It ends on a really positive note. It's a good ending. Mm-hmm. I will definitely pick it up because I just read it through the Shonen Jump app because I could just read them all. So I'll just keep reading, and then you just read 30 at once. It's like, okay, I probably should stop and do something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really good. It's if you read Tokyo Ghoul and then you jump into Tokyo Ghoul Re, it's a bit jarring at the beginning because the characters are a little different. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason for that. And I can't say too much because it kind of spoils some stuff. But yeah, there's a definite reason why there's new characters. And
everyone else died.
not quite. Yeah.
Not quite, but also yes, but also no.
But there's so many
twists
and turns and things from... You get 3/4 of the way through Tokyo Ghoul Re, and there's stuff that connects back to the Tokyo Ghoul. It's like, oh, that's why it was like that way back then, and this is the reason for that. So it's a really good interconnected story. And just like, okay, it's like you think something's going one way, and then it turns. It's like, oh, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen, and things like that. So it's really cool story that you're not going to really know what's going to happen next. And it's not like it just throws in curveballs like out of nowhere. It's like, oh, those are something that I had completely forgotten that existed, and now it makes sense that it's coming up now. And characters from way back show up again, and it's really cool. I recommend Tokyo Ghoul Re, but you have to read Tokyo Ghoul first, or else it will make no sense.
Yes. Read the first book, read the first half of this 2-part series.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
And then I read My Dress Up Darling 2 through 5. So this is a story about cosplaying.
Yep.
You got the 2 main characters, and then actually, I don't have the books in front of me, so I don't remember their exact names. The 2 main characters, a guy who works in a doll shop who kind of makes dolls. There's a specific Japanese name for them, and I forget what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And then a girl who is in his class who convinces him to work on cosplay clothes. So in the second one, they do make the cosplay. They go to cosplay events, and it's one, she's never done it, and he is very much learning how this whole cosplay thing will work. Because she knows about cosplaying, and she is really into it, but she's never done it. And then this is her doing her first one, and then him just being thrown into this world of cosplaying.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay. So he's there, and they're kind of doing all that, and he sees other people, and then as they're doing this, she starts to get heat stroke because he designed the dress as if you would just wear it around the house, not outside standing around in the sun for a few hours. So he just made it out of regular cloth. And she's like, I am dying in here. So they kind of stop halfway through.
Yeah.
He's learning all these tricks. So like, okay, I got to not do this way. It's too hard to get it off certain ways and things like that. So like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So then they actually end up hooking up with another cosplayer to kind of do I forget what the name they called it, but they kind of do a co-cosplay where like the two of them will dress up as the same character and then do stuff like that together of the same series on location.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To kind of team up, for a better word. So they do that. So that's interesting because the person they team up with, very different body proportions. She looks much younger, even though she's older somehow. It's anime,
Japanese,
Japan, manga thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's been cosplaying for a while, but her idea of cosplaying is very different from the main characters. Her idea is like, I just want to dress up, take pictures, because I want to feel like I am that character. But she just did it for fun. She's like, I would have been perfectly happy not sharing the pictures. But her younger sister is like, you look so good in this. She kind of created an account for her, and thus her name spread because the sister kind of promoted her.
Yeah.
Without, yeah. And then the sister is very much into photography, so she's the one who always takes the pictures. And there's some funny things that go along with that. And so then he designs the main girl's new costume, which is from a different series.
Yep.
The other cosplayer's costume. And then one more costume. And then they all kind of do the cosplay event together. They talk about, okay, what do you do if you want to go like on location? How does that work? And things like that. And there's more funny scenes about with the grandpa walking in on stuff that's kind of, he's listening to things that kind of weird. And but then there's also a lot of the romance side. This kind of reminds me of a little bit of Nagatoro, where they kind of both like each other, but there's not the teasing bullying that is in Nagatoro. There's the, like, we're really good friends, but she really likes him. She cannot contain herself sometimes because of that. And she is really into him, and he is, but he's also kind of spacey about him focusing on making the designs. So it's not one-sided per se, but it's definitely leans more towards her kind of having feelings for him. But he still says stuff like that, but there's no connection, at least through book 5, romantically yet. But they really work a lot together. So that's kind of also going on at the same time, this kind of tension of they both like each other, but he feels like, I wouldn't say he's not worthy, but it's like he doesn't, like he likes her that way, but not, he doesn't feel like he could say that. And then she really likes him and just gets too nervous to say anything. So yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. Yeah. So it dives a lot into how cosplay works, because they talk about, okay, how do you do the makeup? What do you do about your eyebrows? How do you change the shape of your eyes with tape? And how do you do the wigs and all that stuff? And it talks about how the author tried to also do cosplay and all the issues that they had trying to do it, and like in the little author notes at the end, and it's really funny. So that's definitely one to check out.
Cool.
And then I read volume 7 and 8 of Miss Nagatoro a few weeks ago. I don't remember exactly what happens in these ones.
I have something up on it. 7 is about the zoo, and 8 is when you meet Nagatoro's older sister.
Yes. Yep. So the zoo was funny, and then the sister, because Nagatoro gets sick, so I forget his name, but he goes and delivers her work and some stuff like that. And the sister wants to...
The sister starts messing with him.
Yeah, yes. Messing with him. And it's like, I have all this dirt I can give you about her and things like that. And it's like, yeah. It's funny. Yeah. And then one of them ends with them like walking in the woods. And then the senior is just standing there in the woods naked because her cover just blew away. Yeah, the senior art student is always funny when she shows up.
Oh, yes, yeah, her.
Like,
yes.
Oh, because they're walking up and because I think they were gonna go do some art like up in the mountains behind the school.
Yes.
And he's walking up. He's like, "What's that weird cloth flying away?" Whatever. And then he just turns the corner and there she is, just hidden behind a tree. Yeah, it's funny. Those are always still
very
funny. But yeah. That's it
for
me. What have you been up to?
Nice. So, I haven't read that much. I mean, it almost looks like a lot because it's been so long, but I haven't been reading a lot. The short one, which I'll do first, is I've been rereading some stuff, both because I've been thinking about spoilers. We're doing a sequel to our episode 1 where we're going to talk about our favorite stuff we read this year. So I've been going back and rereading some of my stuff from this year, or just stuff that I wanted to reread again. So I reread the first book of Kowloon, Generic Romance.
Okay.
And God, the ending of that first book is so good.
Yeah.
I reread Coppelion for reasons that won't be spoiled at the end of this episode. Surprise, surprise, they will be. Wait for that. First couple books of Coppelion. And in my third rereading of Realist Hero this year, I got through book 4.
Yep.
And it's the only one with something to say. Calling out to something from that episode we did on the first book. I said that there were a bunch of random characters who were like, these don't come up into book 4 or 5. No, all of them do come up by book 4. All of the weird random like little characters who seem unimportant, they all come up through book 4. And now that I've reread again through book 4 and remembered what's in every book, it was written this way, but it's best to think of Realist Hero as kind of 2 sets of books. There's books 1 to 4, and then there's books 5 to 20. Because everything that gets started in 1 and continues in 2 is brought to a climax in 3 and is concluded in 4 generally. There's very few things that are not dealt with at all, including some of the weird stuff about him when he first shows up that they talk about. That's all the biggest, most obvious, important things are concluded in book 4. There's some stuff that's not explained, that's part of the rest of the series, and there's all the other things that will happen, but you could read books 1 to 4 and stop, and you'd have a full series. But that was just rereading stuff. Some of the new stuff I read, Mission Yozakura Family, book 19 came out.
Nice.
No, they still haven't hit the time skip.
I don't think they started publishing these in English for a while.
Yeah, so I am almost sure that the time skip is in the next book because I can't see how much is left. They've explained why there's about to be a time skip.
Okay, then yeah.
Again, this story has so many characters and things that like talking about who's there and who's involved other than the main cast is kind of spoilers. So I'm not going to say anything on it, but this is the book where you actually understand what all this was for.
Oh, okay.
And who the person they have to go against next that has been behind everything that's happened in the last 7 or 8 books actually is and what you're trying to do. And it's real good. Oh, man, it's so good.
Did they get the videotapes yet?
This is the one where they get the videotapes
then, yeah.
And they learn what the plan is.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure time skip is next.
Yeah. It's very likely to be the next thing.
Okay.
It is less action-y than the previous book or two because there isn't direct combat really going on. But there's a lot of great scenes. There's a really great chapter where Tayo's talking to the president of the spy association about like, well, what do you want to be like once you've graduated from school? Like, what kind of spy do you want to be? Who do you want to mentor? And it's a really adorable chapter. The characters in the series are so good. It's a fantastic series. Wish it would come out faster, but it's coming, and it's really good.
Yeah.
After that, Nagatoro Volume 20. The end of the series came out in English a couple of days ago as we're recording this.
Okay, yep.
Not a couple of days, last week.
Recently.
But
yeah.
Recently, very recently. So the last volume is now finally out in English. It is very, very good.
Okay.
19 is really more of the ending.
Okay.
And 20 is sort of, there's some follow-up and there's some dramatic-y things that happen. But the biggest thing that's like the point of the series is book 19. And then book 20 is like a long, extended epilogue. But there's some really great parts in it. It's really good. Nagatoro and Senpai's relationship is very fun. The ending is... It's not quite as funny as the rest of the series because it's ending. And they're like tying everything up and giving you the sense of, hey, here's what's going to happen in the future. But it's still really good. It's an excellent, excellent ending to the series.
Nice.
It's just not quite as funny.
Would
be the only negative. But instead of being funny, it's either a really good romance or like a very adorable, this is what's going on. This is great. Where it's like, all the characters are having their final moments of like doing the thing and having the hopeful speech for the future. It's excellent.
Nice. So is it like a full book or is it?
It is a full book. Yeah.
Okay. So there's not like it's 2/3 of the book and then the rest is just filler stuff.
There's one bonus chapter.
Okay.
And it almost feels like that's actually the end.
Okay.
Even, but it is like a bonus one, but it's a perfect thing for a bonus thing of just like, hey, it's been 3 months. Here's something.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
happened. And it's very funny, but it sort of gives a little extra closure to what's going on.
Nice.
So, absolutely fantastic series. Unlike certain other series that are famous for being comedy romances that apparently had horrible endings, Nagatoro's is really good. Beyond that, In Another World with My Mistress, Volume 8 of the manga came out.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is the part with the slimes. The thing that I realized, because I saw it in the mangaka's notes at the end, they're going really slow. They're on book 8, and they're still only like halfway through book 3 of the light novels.
That is really slow.
It's really slow when you consider most light novel to mangas. And even he's like, we're going really slow, but I feel like I'm going too fast.
So is the light novel that dense?
No. It's
Okay.
just there's enough. Every scene is like funny enough that like seeing it visually makes it even funnier or more ridiculous. So it's kind of like, what do you cut?
Fair enough. Yep.
And it's really good. And I'm not going to say anything else, not because it's bad or it's not funny, but I don't want this to be an R-rated episode because, man, a lot of this stuff was heavily implied in the book to the point that it was almost explicit. It's entirely explicit in the comic. There is zero pretending what happens in this.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very 17 plus for a reason.
Gotcha.
Now, if you've gotten to book 8 and you didn't know that this was going to be it, then you weren't paying attention to the first 7 books.
Well, that's the first book.
Oh, no, the first book is nothing compared to
That makes,
first book.
that's true.
I mean, it has some, but there's so much more.
Okay.
But it's good. It's very funny. It's a great retelling of the light novel. If you don't like reading books, the manga basically covers just about everything. It's slow. They're on Comic 8, we're now caught up, I think, with Japan, or we're like a book behind. And they're only on volume 3 of the light novel, and there's 9.
I'm like, there's quite a few light novels already. Yeah.
Yeah. There's 8 in English, there's 9 total, and we're not finished with book 3. We're still only like halfway through.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's more like going to be a 3-to-1 instead of 2-to-1.
Yeah. This one, it might be... This will probably be either 3 manga to the book or possibly 4, depending on how long that takes them to get through.
Oh, wow.
The
That's
second
a long
half
time.
of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happens in book 3. Book 3 has a lot. So I think technically 7, 8, definitely 9 will still be in book 3, and I could see part of 10 still being book 3.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I could also see them getting through it in one volume 2.
Yep.
Visually, you can compress certain things down a lot,
true.
but there's a lot of characters in this book. But
Yeah.
slimes. Beyond that, so I had caught up on Odor and the Flame and Creepy and the Freaky, and then there was still another week before we started recording again. So I'm not totally caught up.
Mm-hmm.
But Odor and the Flame, what else can I say other than it continues to be great?
Yep, it does.
24 was the end of the one with the invisible ice horn and the battle for the wind spirit.
Yep.
This is the wrap-up post-battle Shonen chapter, like follow your dreams thing. It's cute. It's nice. It's a good chapter.
Yep.
25 is the introduction to the elves, where they're going next, and there's the different characters and things.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny. It's very fun. Hey, Odor the Flame has a splash screen where someone's swinging a weapon or doing an attack that takes up a whole page, and it's the most badass thing you've seen. Again, guess what? It continues to do that. And Odor, the elf leader who hates outsiders, how Odor figures out how to like get into their society is so simple and so funny, but just so good and so perfect for the kind of person he is. And that continues into, and like it's like, oh no, we'll have to convince them. And like by the end of the chapter 25, he's convinced them.
Yes,
and
quite
26
easily.
It's like, yeah, no, you're, yeah. It's like, all right, you're in. Come in. It's like, oh. I mean, yeah, sure. 26 is very funny. It's clearly setting up the next thing. Yeah. But we don't know exactly what that thing is. But the elf story is really interesting. The characters are good, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. It hasn't quite hit the next big battle point as of chapter 26.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, 27 is out, but I haven't read that yet. But it's good. This has been a more intermission-y section, but it's been... Stuff has continued to happen, and it's been funny or interesting or cute or just good.
Yeah, and I think
they
this
sort of
kind
have their flow.
This kind of thing is needed to kind of progress the story and explain more of the world and things like that.
Yeah, they're like the necessary chapters, but it's not just it's the necessary chapters. They're necessary, but they're also really good.
Right. Yes.
They're like, okay, yeah, we need the chapter where we come down from this and like take our like no, it's like, yeah, here's the one where we're coming down from it, and here's some interesting things that happen.
Oh yeah, just so you know, 26 is the latest chapter.
Is it?
Yep, came out this week or last week.
Am I misremembering which one I read then? Maybe I read 23 to 25. Yep. Okay. When I said those numbers, I was off. It's 23 to 25.
Okay. Yeah. 26.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, I know I haven't read the newest chapter.
Yes.
And I went and looked at the newest chapter. I was like, nope, I've not read this newest chapter.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah. So 23 to 25.
As of right now, 27 will come out this Sunday.
Yeah. 27 is coming out. 26 is out. 25 is the one I just finished. It's not. There's clearly something that's about to happen, but as of reading chapter 25, you don't exactly know what it's going to be. But it's very good. Oh no, antagonist is about to do antagonistic-y thing. But it's really good. And then Creepy and the Freaky, 27 to 29. I just checked. Yes, those are the correct numbers.
Okay.
27, Return of My Favorite Character, the Politician. Also,
oh yeah.
What the fuck? My favorite character is spoilers.
Yeah.
And also, which means also this connects into spoilers. And then all this,
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And then
I was not expecting this one to be so connected with all the previous ones.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
28 is just okay. Sure, this is a set of things that happened. This one is another one. There was, I forget what chapter it was, but there was one where it's like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I hope this doesn't become a thing. But it was like a more adventure-y story about something, kind of about the same monster too.
Yep.
This one is the same. I enjoyed this one a little bit more because it was weird, and the last couple ones have clearly said that this has something to do with what's going on. in the past. Like, this is a past version of something that's going to be really important. It's like, okay, well, now I want to know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. This is a thing. And then 29 comes in and it's like, oh, okay. I understand and am very confused. Yay. But the setup for containing the quote-unquote monster is really cool. And I can say almost nothing else without being massive spoilers again.
Yeah.
Stuff is connecting, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to figure out, I want to know where certain things are. And there's certain characters who are clearly going to connect somewhere, but they haven't said exactly. And it's like, okay, where is this going?
Mm-hmm.
I think I know who's this or that, but I don't know that I know who's this or that.
Yeah.
Super good. It's super duper good.
Yep.
Creepy and Freaky is so good. Did you have anything you wanted to add on that?
No. It's there's not so these chapters are tough because they're not one-off chapters where you get the fear box like some of the other ones were. So
Yeah.
these ones are really explaining what's going on. So if you haven't read it, these will spoil a lot if we talk about it too much.
Yeah. This is a lot. It's doing what it has been for the last several chapters of everything is starting to connect together and show you what's going on. These last couple have been, so like 25, 26 were the big ones where this started happening.
Yep.
And those had like huge connections where it's like the whole chapter is like pulling all these parts together into one. These three have been much smaller where they've sort of just been like trailing along doing something. And then like 3/4 of the way through, it's like, oh yeah, here, this. And then it continues to move on. It's like, but that thing is like, oh, that connects to all these other things. Now I see that. And then it just sort of like doesn't do anything with it yet. So it's more spoilery and less interesting to talk about if you don't already know what's going on, to be like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But it's excellent.
Nice.
Not as scary or creepy.
No.
Other than the creep factor of, oh, this
Yeah.
is this thing. But very, very good.
It's more like a creep factor based on how stuff came to be. It's like, why is everything so creepy in the story? You will learn now.
Yes. Yeah. Or this thing that was a piece in this other chapter that has nothing to do with this part. Yeah, actually those two things are incredibly closely connected.
Yes.
Very, very good. And then finally, because we were going to record a couple days ago and then you decided, oh, I have work and jobs to do. Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feeling in Russian, Volume 8, came out 3 days ago.
Yes.
And I finished it.
Nice.
The last 2 books covered like a week and a half of time. This one, a little bit more time, but not that much more. Like 2 or 3 weeks happens in this one.
Okay.
But it's like, I think book 7 like occurs over the course of like 27 hours or something. It's crazy. Like how little time passes in it and how much stuff happens. And it's excellent. I think it's more than that. I think it's like 2 or 3 days. But 8, this has Alya's birthday. They have a Halloween party in November twice. It's a long story to explain it. For this one, I don't know how much you know what I mean by this, so I'll explain it after. But it feels a lot like how Nagatoro ni was written. Umineko Higurashi, the author of that, he had a style where he would do a chapter where it was very silly, lighthearted, and unimportant. And then a chapter of, this is the important stuff.
Yes.
And it would be scary or dramatic or something like that. And then the next chapter would immediately jump back to very lighthearted, very unimportant, very goofy. And then the chapter after that, very serious, very scary. And like, as the story went on, the first couple of the spooky, scary ones would just be like, oh, here's this little thing that seems important, and the chapter's not quite as funny. And then at the end, it's like oh my god, there's a killer chasing after me and he's murdered 11 people.
Ah.
That kind of feels like how this is, where, other than the murder and the scary, where it's like one chapter is intentionally just stupid to be funny.
Okay. Yep.
And then the next one is like, oh, there's a point to this because there's a couple of really dramatic things going on. Masachika has seen his mother more recently, and when his father got divorced, he left his family, and there's a lot of stuff going on between him and his mother. Now he's starting to see her more often, and there's a lot of stuff going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not more often, but a few times.
Mm-hmm.
People in his family are getting sick, and I won't go into more details on that because that's complicated. Someone who's been a good character finds a way to become an evil character without obviously becoming evil in a story where there isn't really an evil person. The person who's clearly becoming an antagonist for later in the story is really good because they're more just sowing chaos.
Ah, okay, I see.
In a way that's really interesting and not necessarily like you hate them for it. And it's a character who you already know and has been in the story for a while.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's really good. The entire rest of this review can just be shortened down to, yes, this continues to be one of the greatest series I've ever read in my life. It's so good.
That's good.
The House of Cards, the Evangelion nihilism, and the stupid otaku humor. The otaku humor is actually toned down a little bit. The stupid random Japanese high school humor is toned way up. And the nihilism and the House of Cards stuff is toned way up.
Huh. Okay.
But it's excellent. There's a bunch of important steps in Masachika and Alya knowing about each other and what's going on being figured out. And it's just so good. Absolutely fantastic. I adore this series.
That's good.
So yeah.
Nice.
So you should go check it out.
Okay.
But that's me. That's all I've got.
Nice. That's a good amount. That's good grouping.
Yeah.
Got a bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, if you have things that you'd like to recommend for us to read, don't until you've read Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, because that's probably better than anything you have to talk about. Meh.
Don't listen
But if
to
you want
him.
to talk about it anyway,
Just if you feel
too
like
bad you are listening to me,
Recommend
unless you
whatever
cover
you
your
feel
ear
like.
holes right now.
recommend whatever you want.
Yeah, if you want to recommend anything to us or you have your own thoughts on these, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. Especially if it's how awesome Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian is, because it's an amazing series. I've heard the anime is also really good, and I kind of want to watch it.
Go for it.
Me, person who does not watch anime, who does not like anime.
Really.
I want to see... oh, man, it's so good. It's so good.
And you have to watch it.
The ending is so good. And it's like... It ends on, like, not even a cliffhanger, but like, oh, someone gets to find out a thing that they weren't supposed to find, like the decision to tell someone something that they've been hiding for the whole series. It's like, oh, it's so good.
Nice. For our main topic tonight, we're going to review Frontier Lord Begins with Zero Subjects, Light Novel Volume 2. This is also the manga Volume 3 and 4. We covered Volume 1 in Episode 2. So because of that, we're going to kind of gloss over a lot of the background of everything that's going on, just because this is Volume 2. Yep. Volume 1 kind of sets everything up and kind of explains who the majority of the main characters are. This light novel introduces some new ones, but it expects you to know not many, but there are a few new ones. Yeah. But it expects you to know who everyone is already. It's not going to reintroduce everything and over again. And it definitely explains why this happens, because that's a big part of how Diaz got here. That's explained in Volume 1.
Yeah, I think Volume 1 is how he physically got here and how this all started, and this Volume 2 is a lot of why that happened.
Yep.
Although that's not a huge part of this book, but that is part of it.
Yeah. If you want to review Volume 1, that's in Episode 2. If you want to know what the story is about, also Episode 2. We go really deep into it. So now we're going to talk about specifically what happens in Volume 2 now. Okay. So as I said, this is Frontier Lord begins with 0 subjects. This is a work by Furo, and the artist for the manga is Yumbo. As we said, you got DS, the Frontier Lord. Alna is the Onikin. You see her on the cover. Then there's also Klaus, the captain of the guard. Grandma Maya is the elderly person who is one of DS's subjects. And then you have the Elephant Beastkin, Eldon, who is the lord of a neighboring kind of city/region.
City-state area, yeah.
And then you got Camelot, who is Eldon's assistant. You have the 2 elf girls, Ayan and Senya. They are very important. So all of those characters were introduced in Volume 1. They are still very important in Volume 2.
Yes.
And then there's Francis and Francois, who are the Baz. They are also important. But they actually play a smaller role in this volume.
Yeah, they're not a huge part of this one.
No.
They're there. They sort of show up.
Yeah.
So that you don't get forgotten. But they'll be back more later.
Yeah. So I want to preface Volume 2 as this is very much... It's kind of 2 main topics. It's very much... This is DS now kind of taking charge... Not taking charge, but this is very much a story about just him and his kingdom living. So it's a slice of life, kinda, of him just kind of, I'm building my kingdom. And some stuff happens. But then there's also some political intrigue things going on in the background as well. So it's one of those, it feels like this could be considered a slower, lighter novel about what stuff that happens compared to the first one, which is a lot of, everything is due because it's Volume 1. But in Volume 2, it's a kind of more subdued story, I think.
Yeah, I would frame that side of it as, so the first volume was he had nothing. How does he get anything?
Yep.
Sort of like basic survival almost. Not really, but he ends up in the grasslands with nothing. And it's like, okay, well, how do I get food? How do I get shelter? How do I get all that? And now it's like he has some of that. Now it's more of like, okay, what are things that we can do? What do we need to improve? What are steps that we need to take to go from, okay, we have food for today and tomorrow and the next day. I guess that's how I would describe for that side of it, more of it. So that does slow it down a lot.
Because now it's more about trying to grow the tiny kingdom that they actually have to be a little more self-sufficient. Because it kind of is, but they're missing a lot of amenities at the start of Volume 2.
They have what they need because Diaz killed crazy strong monsters and can sell that stuff for money. So they have food and all that. But it's like, okay, well, how do we get our own food? How do we develop our own stuff? This is the start of that.
They need food, water, more supplies, all those kind of things. And that's kind of what Volume 2 is building up. It's like, okay, by the end of Volume 2, they are much better off than they were at the beginning of Volume 2.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that happen. None of them are really super, this is a really big thing until the very end.
Yeah, until the last one, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing, which I think you were going to state and then didn't, of like, there's 2 parts to it. There's this slower side. And then the other one is, there's this big thing that happens that's the big dramatic end point of the story.
Yeah.
That we can get to in a minute. But it's like, it's a lot of very slow stuff, but it has that narrative sense of like, here's a book with a beginning, a middle, and end, because the big thing at the end of the book is like hinted at and talked about leading up to it, and then it happens, and then the book ends. So it isn't just the slow growing. There's clearly something else is going to happen.
Right. As DS and Alna and everyone is trying to kind of build up this city.
Yep.
Because they're living out in the plains, there's monsters and things like that. So one of the other things that happens is they get attacked every now and then. And one of the first ones that happens in this volume is they get attacked by bats. So all these bats just come out of the sky. It's a really cool scene. You see Klaus and DS fighting off these bats, and you see that DS is just getting swarmed like crazy. He gets attacked by a monster bat, and then Alna just does this giant shout to kind of stun all the bats. And it's a really funny scene because it's stunned, he kills the bat, and then Alna is trying to talk to DS, and he's like, I can't hear anything. I'm deaf. And then she does something cute where she goes and says something. You don't know what it is, but she blushes, and I still can't hear you. So that was fun. And then there's definitely a lot more that happens in all these scenes, but I'm just going to go over the bullet points just to kind of so we can talk about what we feel about this volume. And then there's another thing that happens. So Eldon and Kamalats are trying to be on good terms with DS because they know he's a celebrated war hero. He has connections to the royalty. He is trying to be a frontier lord in this area that people thought nothing grows. So Kamalats comes out to visit him with supplies and things like that. And in this world, there are beastkin, who are, let's just say, part human, part animal. There are beastkin who are all animal, beastkin who are, think, more anthropomorphic animals, and then there are beastkin who are almost all human but have kind of like slightly not human qualities. I think they consider Alna almost a beastkin because she has a horn coming out, and Eldon looks human, but he can also turn into an elephant.
Yeah.
So he's like on the tail end of being a beastkin.
I think they specifically say he's a half.
Oh, that's right. He's a half beastkin.
And Alna isn't a beast. I think she's technically not, but most people don't know about the Onikin.
True.
So they don't really know that.
Yeah, there was a chart in the manga about that, and I think they just kind of lumped them all together.
Could be, yeah.
Because there's no real good definition
Yeah.
of what constitutes... Oh, no, I was wrong. Eldon and Alna are demi-human, not beastkin.
Okay.
That's what it was. So anything that's an animal that can talk, or an anthropomorphic animal like a walking dog, are considered beastkin. Eldon, who can transform into an elephant, and Alna, who isn't human, they are demi-human. But then demi-humans is also kind of a catch-all for anything that's not human. So a beastkin is also a demi-human,
Gotcha.
but a demi-human doesn't have to be a beastkin.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's where the manga helps, because it gives you little charts and illustrations about this stuff to kind of help explain it.
In the book, I know there are times where people refer to Alna as a beastkin, but like it's people talking about rumors
Okay.
or like saying things who haven't actually met her, and it's like they're like, oh, like she's some kind of a beastkin. It's like, what kind? It's like, I don't know. She had a horn. It's like, oh, this or that, and it's like that clearly not, but it's always by people who don't actually know who she is.
Yeah. And this whole discussion comes up because DS, kind of not really knowing a lot of details about most things, is asking Kamalats, what's a beastkin? I don't quite get the distinction. And so he explains it all to kind of help DS, but also help the reader try to understand all the different subtleties of what's going on, because there are now... So Eldon is trying to help beastkin, but they have been persecuted so long they actually want to leave and come to DS. So that's Kamalats is like, can we send some of the beastkin who don't want to stay in our land anymore because they were previously persecuted to you? And DS is like, sure, yeah, that's fine. Send them over. But during all of this, when Kamalats is visiting, some stowaways...
Mousekin.
Yeah, some stowaways hitched a ride in their caravans, and they arrive to defeat the Dragon Slayer, Diaz, and what they are is tiny mousekin who all just jump. They're like screaming, it's like down with Diaz and all these things, and they just attack Diaz, and he's like, what's happening? He just kind of bats them away.
Yep.
So they were kind of kicked out of their lands. and were persecuted and things like that. So they're trying to kind of take over something, but they're mice.
Yeah. I don't know how much the manga does it, but like Eldon was like trying to help them, but like couldn't get them back home, and they got so frustrated. They're like, I know, if we kill the Dragon Slayer, we'll become powerful. And it's like,
Yeah.
and then Diaz just like knocks them away.
Yep. And then
Like, oh.
and then at the end they show all the Mousekin just in a bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got a bag.
They're all
and
just
start stuffing them in.
But they're all still just yelling all these horrible things. But one of the things that is introduced here is a new character or a new companion / eventually resident called Eimer Jerrybauer. This is a Mousekin. This mouse... Well, so the other Mousekin that attacked just look like mice with red eyes and just are mean. This one has glasses, a book, and is very well educated.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think she's not an economist. She's more of a strategist, I believe.
I think
She's educated. She's well educated.
she's more just well educated. I don't remember it being very specific, almost more like a history teacher type of a person.
Yeah, I think so.
Where she just knows a lot about a lot of things and hasn't had a specific job title, really. She's not really a bureaucrat. She's not really an economist. She's not really a strategist. But she knows a lot about a lot of things.
Yep.
And so it's just, and when the other person who has to decide is Diaz, it's like, okay, well, let's ask Eimer.
Yeah. She knows a lot.
She knows a lot.
So then the next big thing that comes up is because they're trying to be self-sufficient, they try to till with all the supplies that Camelot's brought them, and they dig up the land, they plant some seeds. Next day, everything's dead.
Yep.
Nothing they have done grows. The two elf children are upset by this. Diaz has no idea, so Diaz and Klaus are trying all kinds of things to try to get stuff to grow. No idea what's going on. And eventually, the two girls go out in the middle of the night to try to help the fields. And the best way to say this is they start chanting in elf language, using their powers as elves to kind of create a bubble of good growing zone in the fields. And the next day so they also discover Eimer, so she's out there with them because Eimer gets locked up, and it's a funny little story.
Eimer first because she got locked in a box of beans. And they're the ones who find her, and she helps them go out and do this. Not helps them, but they want to do it, but they're scared, so she encourages them and goes with them.
Yeah, because the girls don't really want people to know they can do this, because they're at this point they are still very secretive about what they can do and who they are. So they create this bubble of good land, and then the next day, Diaz and Grabamaya and everyone go out and see that there's just this circle in the field where everything is growing now, and they're not sure why. And then
there's a big circle in the square field of stuff growing. It's like, why is it not working here, but it's working here?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but it's working.
It is working. So that helps out, and then you kind of learn more about what the elves are and things like that. So it's really interesting. And then there's another scene later where the two girls are kind of talking to Diaz, and he's like, "Will you be mad if we have secrets?" And he's like, "Well, I will be sad if it's a bad secret, but if it's a good secret, well, everyone has secrets, so it's fine." And then they're really happy that they're allowed to keep their secret, but won't upset Diaz because of that. It's really nice. But then the two girls are sleeping with Eimer, and Alna is there also sleeping. She wakes up, sees that the girls are holding a mouse, and freaks out. And takes them outside and is scrubbing them down. Like, how could you sleep with a disease-ridden mouse? And it's like,
why did you bring a rodent into the house? That's great.
Yep. So they're just getting scrubbed all over and things like that. And that's when Eimer meets Diaz and everyone else. And it's like, it's fun.
It's a great scene of Ymir then having to go through all of the washings and herb
Yeah.
concoctions that
Yeah.
all does, and it's like, I feel bleh.
So then in the manga, it ends with kind of a more high level view of what's going on back in the kingdom that DS came from, like with the king and the princesses and princesses.
Oh no, you get that in the light novel. Yep.
Yeah, but this is the end of the third volume.
Okay.
So the third volume ends with kind of learning that the third princess, yeah, that's the third princess, Diane. She is kind of plotting to get revenge on Diaz and kind of make a name for herself by going after him. And this is kind of her setting up what she's gonna do. And there's a really funny picture of Diaz sleeping and them trying to explain the different hierarchy of all the different princesses. And he's just there, like, scratching himself, sleeping, and then it just shows a picture of all the princesses. It's funny. There's a lot of that in the manga, which is really good.
Yep.
So there's fan service in the manga, but it's mostly about Diaz.
Yeah, I remember you saying that last
Yeah.
time.
So that's how kind of the third volume ends. It's kind of setting up for this is coming next, where something's happening back in the kingdom that is going to affect Diaz and everyone, but it hasn't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
So that's where the third volume ends. I think that's probably halfway through the light novel, maybe?
Thereabouts, yeah. In terms of the things that have come up, so pretty much everything that you've talked about has been in the light novel. The bat attack is actually not in the light novel.
Really?
None of that happens at all. Nope.
Oh, okay.
There's a pretty long scene where there's a long scene where he goes to the Onikin to talk to them about how they grow stuff, and it's like, we don't, because we can't. Here's the stuff that we do, where you crush these things called leaf stones and put it in a pot, and you can grow herbs. And there's a couple of chapters of Diaz figuring out how to do that and messing around with a mortar and pestle. But there's no bat attack.
Okay, yeah. Because the crushing up the stones is in the manga as well.
Yeah. And I think probably a couple of things, like the scenes with Ymir and Senna, I don't know, but it's a long scene where it's like they're trying to decide what they want to do, and then they find Ymir, Jerry Bower, and then they have a long conversation with her about what they should do, and then they have the whole adventure out in the night, and that's like 3 or 4 chapters. It's just following them on their whole adventure to do the plants.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little bit. I don't think it's as long probably as the light novel, but it's a couple chapters.
Pretty much all of that, just no bat attack.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the extra information at the end. Mm-hmm. So in the manga, they include some other information. They have early designs of certain characters and things like that. But then there's usually like some funny pictures of DS and Alna at the end. And the third volume of the manga is those clicker games where you click on people and their clothes come off. So they're clicking all over DS and his clothes are just flying everywhere. And he's just standing there, doesn't care. And then Alna is freaking out because it's happened to her. So then in the fourth volume, at least in the manga, that is when the Beastkin arrives. So you got Beastkin from where Eldon's from. I forget what the actual country's name is.
Is it lots of different kinds of beastkin? I thought it was just the small elk dogkin.
Yeah, so yeah, it's mostly the dogkin who arrive.
Okay.
But then there's also one new person who arrives, Canis. She's the caretaker of the dogkin. She is more of an anthropomorphic person, so she is a dog face and fur and things like that, but she stands up like a person.
Yep. Whereas the small elk's dogkin are like dogs who can talk. They can use they have not quite hands, but almost hands, but they're more like dogs who can talk and can do a few things with tools, but they're much more like dogs.
Yep. And there's different kinds. There's like hounds and mastiffs and kind of smaller dogs, and there's a mix of all kinds of dogs.
Yep.
But they all come together with Canis watching over them, but they show up by being chased by a giant turtle snake thing, and DS runs out to save everybody.
Okay.
Is that okay? Maybe that's not in the light novel. Yeah.
In the book, they're just in the book. Okay, that sounds more epic than the book, because in the book they're like, oh, someone's here, and so Alna and Diaz go out, and then the dogs see them and like, oh, person, and they all just start running up to him.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
Diaz is like, oh, hi. And Cadence is like, stop running so fast. We've been walking all day. How can you run so much again?
yeah.
Because they're dogs. And that's it. There's no fighting. There's no nothing of that. No.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. In the manga, they're being chased, so they're all running, and then Alna's like, oh, something's going on, and she's like, sees them, so Diaz just starts running up to them, and she's freaking out because he has no weapons, he's just in his regular clothes, and then he kind of puts the snake in a headlock and just crushes it, because it's huge. Yeah. Saves everyone, and then all the dogs freak out. Yeah, because there's mastiffs, there's all kinds, but they are all from the other country, the other city-state, and they've come to be residents of the frontier.
Yeah.
And then, as I said before, Canis is kind of their, not so much watcher as more like, I'm just helping them to kind of get where they're going. Mm-hmm. And it's really funny in the manga. So they're also kind of, because they can talk, but they're not people like, Diaz tries to kind of treat them not like dogs, but like people. Yeah. So he gets down closer to the ground so he can talk to them and things like that. And they start to really respect him because he's treating them just like regular people, even though they are dogs. But then they also act like dogs sometimes too, because they all freak out. And I don't know how this comes across in the light novel, but in the manga, I gotta make sure I get the name of this just right. Yes, okay, I got the name. So in the manga version, when Canis and Klaus first meet, they see each other across the field, like not a huge distance, but not close. They're like a little farther away from each other. But then the art style switches to a shoujo manga, where they have huge eyes, and there's flowers all over the border of the 2-page spread, and you just see them staring at each other. The borders around all the text boxes changed in all these flowery designs, and so they fall instantly in love with each other.
Yeah.
Alna understands immediately. Diaz has no idea what's going on.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah.
Classic Diaz.
Yep. So that happens, and then the next little bit is about them just kind of integrating the dogkin into their society. They're training some of them to do chores around the village, and Klaus, as the captain of the guard, is teaching some of them how to fight. So you see a little more information about what kind of fighter Klaus is. He fights with a spear. Apparently he had the nickname of the head collector because of how good he was. And Diaz is actually surprised that the Dog King can keep up with him in only a couple days of training with him.
Yep.
They are all very good fighters. They integrate very quickly within this frontier village that Diaz is putting together. And this is where things take a turn.
Yep.
So the princess, Diane, we talked about before, she is now, okay, I'm going to make my move. I have stolen the king's seal, which, if you don't know, a king's seal allows you to put a mark on a document and thus saying it is from the king.
It's like a fancy stamp.
Because there's no other way to do it other than a seal of some kind. So she stole it, so then she can say, this document, the king said this, you have to do it.
Yep.
So she stole that, and also a scepter that has a dragon swirled around it with a giant crystal in it. So she goes to take down Diaz. She goes to Eldon. There's also a bit more to this that's going on that I'm not going to go too deep into because the other prince is, I think it's the first prince?
The first prince, yes.
Yeah, the first prince knows kind of what's going on and is trying to stop her, and he sends a few people after her, but she's already long gone. So she's like, go get her back, get the seal back, and don't mess with Diaz.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that Diaz was supposed to show up in the frontier with money and supplies and people, and all of that was stolen by someone. Yep. He was not supposed to be by himself. Yeah.
Him just being dumped in there was never actually the plan.
No.
It was like, no, here's all your stuff to go build a town. And the second prince just like yoinked it all, had his people bring him there, and I was like, well, here you go, bye. Yeah. And then just left him.
You also learn about the relationship between Diaz and the king, because the king really likes Diaz. And it turns out he sent him there because Diaz is the one retainer he truly trusts to watch the border between their kingdom and the neighboring ones. He's like, I'm going to put my best person there to keep us safe from on this border. And that was Diaz, and he actually got sent with nothing. But he wasn't supposed to be. Diaz doesn't know this, but the first prince is like, do not mess with Diaz.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. One, he won't care that you're royalty. He will do whatever he has to. And two, is like, everyone likes him. Do not screw this up.
And also, I don't know how much in the manga, but there's a lot with the first Prince Richard about his history with Diaz and how he feels about him.
Yeah.
And other people talking about it. But it's also, if you mess with Diaz, he will kill you instantly.
Yes.
Like, you don't fight him.
Yeah.
You will lose horribly. I have seen what he does. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think Diaz had been working in the military for 20 years before he was sent away. And supposedly he never lost. But he was also very much, he fought by his own code, so he wouldn't kill civilians, he wouldn't do all kinds of things, and he held people in the highest regard, so he was liked/disliked by certain groups, but he was also, everyone knew that he was the best soldier, the strongest soldier. He wasn't always the most savvy soldier, but he was definitely the best soldier.
Yeah, loved by the people because there was no looting, there was no pillaging, there was no requisitioning of supplies and taking things from them. He when they were there and not immediately fighting, they would work on improving the towns and villages and things.
Right.
So like all the commoners adore him.
Yes.
Some of the people in the nobility liked him because it's like, oh hey, he's taking care of all that. We don't have to send him more supplies. And other ones are like, no, I wanted to steal stuff.
Right.
And then Diaz killed him or worse.
Or, yeah.
Some
worse things happen. So
funny worse.
Yes, they're definitely funny worse. So, the princess is on her way to get to Diaz. She shows up at Eldon's city-state with a parchment from the king, wink, saying, give me some soldiers, we're gonna go take down Diaz, because he is a bad guy. And Eldon's like, this doesn't sound right. I'm gonna have to think about this. And so he knows that something's up. He sends messages to Diaz saying, hey, this is what we got from the king, and what's up? So they kind of trade back and forth. Diaz is like, just play along, and we'll figure it out. And Eldon's like, okay. He's playing along by also wasting time. Because the princess is very angry, also freaking out. So they take... I believe it's 1,000 soldiers. So the princess has 50 people in armor, heavy infantry, heavy cavalry kind of thing. Yeah,
so I kind of remember from the book there's a little over like 12 or 1,300. Eldon has 1,000.
Yep.
The princess has about 50, but mostly like elite heavy infantry.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then there's also like 100 to 200 mercenaries.
Yep.
One of the other reasons the princess is freaking out is she is the third princess, and it's not just she's the youngest. She also is in the absolute worst position of everyone. If this doesn't work, she's done.
Yeah, because the king is not sick per se, but he's definitely on the older side. So they're all kind of competing to see who can then take over after the king. The first prince is, I think, the best right now.
At this point, he's already best positioned, but it isn't clear what's going to happen.
Right. So thus, the third princess is trying to do something. And her idea is to do this. So you got 1,000 soldiers from Eldon, 200 mercenaries, and then the 50 elite guard with the princess. They go against a number of the dogkin who have joined Diaz. They've trained them up where, okay, we're going to defend. And then you got Klaus and Diaz. So you got two against two people, and the dogkin against 1,300 soldiers.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is a little one-sided number-wise. So they all meet out on this field. So they knew they were coming.
Yep.
So they put a bunch of traps out there just to kind of slow people down once they start attacking. They're getting ready. they have this bell that they're going to ring to kind of, that's how you send signals. Like some people do horns, and DS is like kind of explaining how this works. Is like you ring the bell to kind of signal different strategies and things like that. It's kind of an old method because the problem is
everyone can hear it.
Everyone can hear it. What if you take the bell? What if the bad guys start ringing the bell? It's like it sows confusion. So it's like it's kind of weird that they're using this. So then they start ringing the bell, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be like a full-on assault because they're just ringing it like crazy. It's like, get ready, and nothing happens. They're just standing there. It's like, I thought they were gonna do a full charge, and then you look over. It's like, oh, the elite guard are running. The 50 elite guard are just ready to go. They're in heavy armor. They're really far away. It's like, yeah, they might make it halfway before they get too tired and have to stop. And then you look over. Eldon's people aren't moving. Neither are the mercenaries. And one of the people who was with the princess goes to talk to Eldon. It's like, why aren't you attacking? He's like, oh, it's tea time.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to have my tea. This is a perfect time to have tea. So he just sits down at a table. It's like, I'm having tea. And
promised I would come with you. I didn't promise anything more than that. I didn't promise I would interrupt tea time.
Yeah, I gave you soldiers, money, and equipment. I didn't say I would change my schedule. So he's like, oh, I'll have another cup. It's like, oh, I'll go brew another pot for you. So Eldon is just wasting as much time as he can because he knows this is ridiculous. The mercenary's like, this is really weird. The Lord isn't attacking. Everyone loves Diaz, and if we fight Diaz, 1, we'll be dead, 2, everyone will hate us. So we're out. So it's like, here's your money, we're leaving.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great scene in the book, like, because some of the other mercenaries are like, why? It's just one guy. It's like, that's Diaz. Like, okay, so, like, if we kill here, if we somehow win, everyone everywhere will hate us and try to kill us. You want the money? Take it. And he throws the bag at them, and all of them immediately, like, drop it and start backing away like it's poison.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not touching
pack
this.
up, leave whatever we don't need, start running.
Yeah. So
they just disappear.
Yeah. So you got Diaz, Klaus, the Dogkin, now just against the 50. There's pit traps and holes along the way. There's like, okay, the 50 elite guard from the princess aren't stopping. So, okay, we're going to have to fight them. They're like, okay, we're not going to kill any of them because that's just going to make things a whole lot worse. So they start fighting. And then there's also, in the background that are kind of hidden away, you get Alna and all of the female Dogkin kind of have set up their own squad to kind of back everybody up.
The Illic Wives Club.
Yes. Turns out Anna told DS this, and he just wasn't listening.
Yeah, he doesn't tell him in the book.
Yeah.
They're just like, afterwards, just like, wait, Alna, why are you here? And where did you get all this stuff? Because of what's going to have to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No reason. Okay.
Yeah, so in the book and the manga, they show like a previous scene where it's like, oh, I'm going to go train with the Illikins. Like, okay, have fun. So they're doing their more covert maneuvering.
Yep.
Because they're the kind of ranged people. So the battle doesn't go well for the princess.
Yeah, I was going to say, for who? For who is important?
For the princess. They're just going around. They're not killing anyone. They're just knocking them away. Klaus is backing up Diaz constantly. He's like, Diaz takes out all the heavy hitters. Klaus makes sure that no one can get behind Diaz and things like that. And there's a funny scene where someone's about to hit Klaus in the back with a sword. And then Diaz yells at Klaus, like, Klaus, look out. And so the next panel is Klaus just, because he has a spear, he just puts it backwards, clocks the guy in the face, and Diaz is like, look out, there's a snake on the ground. It's like, oh, I need to be careful. Thanks. You're right, I should have paid attention to that. It's like, doesn't care about the soldier at all. It's like, watch out for that snake on the ground. It's like, don't slip up now, we're almost done. So,
it's great.
And the princess is like freaking out. She's waving her wand around. It's doing nothing.
Yep.
It gets shot out of her hand by an arrow, so she starts running away. It's like, I gotta get out of here. Because she can't see where it came from, because it's obviously Alna hiding in her invisible barrier. So the princess is running through the woods. Alna is hunting her down. But then, as soon as Alna gets a good look at her, the princess is captured by the groups that the first prince sent after her.
Yep.
Alna doesn't know this, so she's like, who are you? She she's shooting them from behind her barrier. It's like, okay, no, don't throw us. We're from the First Prince. We're going to take her away back to the king. He said to give you this bag of gold to Diaz. Don't do anything. And then Alna shoots the other bag of gold off of his purse. Like, yeah, you can have that too. All right, we're going to go.
Is it from him, or is it like the princess's gold?
I think it's from him. Like,
okay, because in the book, I think it's like pouches of gold that the princess had. It's like, but yeah, like she shoots an arrow and like cuts the bags off. And it's like, yeah, okay, you can keep that. That's fine. We're leaving.
I don't know if it's specifically from her or him. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you can have that too, but we're going to take her with us.
Yeah.
And she kind of trusts them, but not explicitly. It's like, okay, well, they got rid of her, whatever.
Yeah.
And she got bags of gold, so she's good.
Yep.
So then the battle is over. Everyone is rounded up. And as you say... Oh, so one of the things I forgot to mention is that Eimer is with Diaz this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Riding on his head, kind of giving him ideas, like pointing out stuff. Like, because obviously people are explaining things and they're saying stuff, but kind of a third perspective of her sitting on his head, kind of explaining. It's like, we got to watch out for this and things like that. And she is so nervous, she's been pulling out his hair. So when the battle is completely over, it's like, oh, great. She looks down. He has a bald spot on top of his head. And she's just like, I'm going to cover that and not do anything.
That's not what happens in the book, and it's one of my favorite things in the book. In the book, she's with him, and then like she crawls into his armor to be safe.
Yep.
She's running around inside his armor while it's going on, and then at the end, it's like, there we go, we did it. And then she comes out, and the first thing she does, she goes, chomp, and like bites him in the neck. It's like, you idiot! Why would you try to not kill them? Why did you run in front of all of our pit traps? And she just starts biting him over and over again.
Oh,
it's so funny.
She does that, but instead in the manga, she's just pulling out his hair constantly, saying the same stuff. And he's like, ow, stop that. And then she like realizes what she's done, and she's like, okay, don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So then...
she just, like, climbs out, and it's like, yeah, we did it, Armor, and she just, like, bites him in the neck and just keeps biting him over and over again. It's like, stop it! Stop it!
So then, because Eldon's there, he comes over, it's like, okay, we gotta talk. It's like, okay, this is done. So it's like, okay, how do you want to handle the prisoners and all that stuff, and, like, how do you want to be repaid for all the trouble they've caused? It's like, okay. Diaz is like, what are you talking about? It's like, nothing really happened. It's like, no, because your lands were technically invaded by someone else, they should pay reparations for all of this. So he's kind of explaining all of this to Diaz. It's like, okay, this all makes sense. It's like, make sure to tell the king that we're good and things like that. So then Alna finds the staff that was dropped, along with a bunch of other equipment that they've taken from all the prisoners. Yep. And she's trying to figure out what it is, because it's just like a big jewel with a kind of dragon head twisting around it. And she picks it up. It's like, it's magical, but she can't figure out how to get it work. So Diaz holds it. It's like, this feels a lot like my axe. Because it's explained in the volume 1 that his axe is special because it can repair itself. It's really strong. It's really powerful. But one of the big things is that he can just, without a better way to say it, pour mana into it, and thus it repairs itself. However, he has zero experience with how magic works. He just does it. On a subconscious level, I can think and kind of will itself, and thus it kind of repairs it. So he's holding this scepter, and he's like, this feels like my axe. So he's thinking about it. It's like, what if I just kind of do it the same way, and just kind of oomph it with magic, with willpower, and he's holding it up, and then this giant cone of fire shoots out into the air. It's like the size of a building, and everyone's like, what is that? Freaking out. Everyone has huge eyes, and Diaz is like, I have no idea what's going on. And then it stops, and he's like, that was crazy, and everyone's like, what just happened? And I was like, I'm gonna hold on to this for now.
Yep.
Yeah. Then they kind of he's trying to explain how the oomphness works to everyone. It's like, they have no idea. No one else can get it to work. So it's like, so I couldn't really explain how to use it to anybody. So now we got ourselves a new igniter. And he just shows him lighting a fire with it.
Yeah.
He's like, not going to use it for anything else except lighting fires.
Yep.
Yeah.
It makes breakfast so much easier.
Yeah, exactly. So then it skips back to now the kingdom, because now the princess is captured. All of her titles are erased. She is now just a person, and she is confined to the castle. So her chance of being king or queen is done.
0.
She's out.
Yeah.
But it turns out, because of what Eldon did and all the things that happened in book 1 and book 2 with him and Diaz and the battle, his standing has elevated, and the first prince is like, he kind of one-upped me in this situation, because while yes, I did get the princess back, what he did was a bigger contribution than what I did. So it's kind of like, okay, The first prince and Eldon may not see eye to eye on things, but it's more like, he got the one-up on me because of how things went. But then where the volume 4 ends, there's more going on, things in the background, shady stuff going on in the kingdom, and things like that. They kind of set up where it's going to go next.
Yep.
And that's kind of where the manga ends. And then in the manga, there's a bit more of kind of early designs of the dogs and the Canis. And there's a really funny special thanks page where they kind of do like a little one-off picture. And it shows Canis and Klaus doing the Titanic scene out on a rock, just in the middle of the field. And then, so at the beginning of the manga, that they do kind of something funny too. And then this one, they did a spot the difference. So they have like cartoony versions of all of the main characters, like at a picnic, and they do spot the difference. Like here's one version, here's another, and it looks very cartoony. And then at the end, it's trying to say, okay, here's the answer, and it shows you like the same picture again, and then Diaz is sleeping butt naked, and it's right over his crotch. Is the answer. And it's really funny. It's like he's just there lounging, completely naked, and then the answer is covering all the important parts. So the artist has a lot of fun with just how DS is in the manga. So it's really funny, because even during all of the explanation that we've been given, there are some really funny just panels and scenes of just how crazy this story can be sometimes with DS and all of them. Yeah. So is that kind of where the light novel ends? Because I haven't read the light novel.
Yes, that ends at pretty much exactly where it ends.
Okay.
After the battle with Princess Diane, and Eldon accomplishes things along the way with that while DS is still at home. That's pretty much basically. I think the only thing that's different is the bats.
Okay.
Is like an actual like major change, and then the way certain things happen was changed, but that's pretty much the same set of plot points as the book itself. Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably other little subtle differences in the details.
Yeah, there's definitely small things.
Yeah.
But nothing major.
Okay.
Is different, and that's where the second book of the light novel also ends.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So my opinion of the volume 2 is, so if you liked volume 1 a lot, volume 2 is definite you're going to like volume 2. If you were on the fence about volume 1, but mostly because you weren't sure where this was going to go, I'm not sure the second volume will really do a lot more for you. The reason I say that is because volume 2, story-wise, is very
thin.
Yeah. Thin's probably the best word. So there's a lot of just watching life go by. It's very slice of lifey for this volume until the very end when the princess attacks. Because it's very much, okay, Diaz is going around, fixing stuff around the village, there's stuff going on, there's the Baas are doing stuff, we're gonna till some fields, but there's less, I wouldn't say not story, but it's very much just going along with life for the majority of volume. Volume 3 is pretty much all of that for the manga. Volume 4 is when the princess stuff really happens, so that's a much more exciting volume than volume 3. I could see people being off-put because the story doesn't progress a whole lot in volume 3. the story has a lot more going on in Volume 4 because you have also a little bit of slice of life stuff. You have all the political things going on. You have the battles with the princess. And then you have more of, okay, we're expanding our stuff because the dogkin are here and things like that. And there's more things going on. Volume 3 is very light on that because it very much focuses on the kind of trade between Eldon and Diaz and the dogkin showing up. The princess stuff at the very end is very short. So a lot of that really happens in Volume 4. So it's good. I really like it. But if you were on the fence of Volume 1, I'm not sure if Volume 2 will really push you over the edge or not, depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, I could say the same sort of thing with the light novel. There's nothing in book 2 that's a big, like, oh yeah, now you'll see, like, and enjoy it. I don't think the story really has much like that, where it's, oh, this is the point when you have, like, a big change. It tends to be a lot of slow, incremental growth. If you like the first one, I think you'll enjoy the second one, because there's enough going on, and it's interesting and entertaining, but it's not, oh, now here's where the big thing actually starts. No, there's not really that. It's a lot of small bits. It's good. It's a really great story. I love the series, especially this early part. I think is fantastic, but it's very meandering in a lot of ways, where it's like, oh, this is what we're going to talk about now. This is what we're going to do now. This is what's going to. There's not a. It's a very light, slow story where, yeah, eventually there's a big battle with Princess Diane, but that's 3/4 of the way through the book that actually starts happening.
Yep.
And it's just like there's a chapter here that mentions it, and then it's like, yep, and then we go back to doing whatever else we were doing for a while. It's still good. It's still great. The characters are great. The interaction is great. And you see Diaz doing more things like working with the small dogkin and getting them trained and being part of it. Like there's an interesting story there and interesting things going on with it. But if you didn't like the first one, but you want to try the second one, this might not be that much better. If you like the first one, the second one is great.
Yep. This definitely feels more of a, we're just going to continue with the first one let off. It's not going to, there's no big overarching story yet. I don't know. It's very much a more subtler story now because, all right, we've established Diaz and the Frontier Lord. And now it's kind of like, okay, now we're going to make sure they build up slowly, but we're not going to take it too far because there's still also a lot of the kingdom stuff going on with the princesses and the princes all going back where Diaz came from. That's still a big thing. And him learning really what it means to be a lord because he really has no idea still.
Yeah.
Because right now there's very few, there's the elder women, the grandmas, Klaus, Diaz, Alna, the elf girls, Canis, the dogkin, the Boz, and Aimer. And there's, I think, some horses and a few other.
Yeah, they get some horses from...
I think Camelot's.
Camelot's gives them some with the farming tools, and then they get some from Princess Diane when they capture all of their equipment.
Yep.
They get to keep the horses.
That's right. That comes up later.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's not a whole lot of people there yet. Like the dogkin and all of them still count as people, but that's still a very small population. Yeah.
They're kind of nameless, interchangeable. They exist, and a few of them have specific names, but it's more of like, this is, there's a couple of dogkin from this group who are here doing stuff, and like they act like this, and so they'll be in the scene. But they don't really get named so much.
Yeah, that's true. So of everyone that showed up in this book, Aimer and Canis are really the only two new people who join the Frontier.
Yeah. Canis is important.
Yep.
Kind of, but like
even
actual major characters. It's just Aimer.
Yeah. Aimer's the
Canis
only one.
is there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that she doesn't matter, but she's doesn't do a lot.
No, she's
in terms of like the actual settlement.
Yeah, she's more there for Klaus and to have him have
and the dogkin and
and the dogkin and things like that. But Aimer plays a more active role going forward.
Yeah. Aimer basically becomes Diaz's first advisor.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she's around like all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those, if you like the first one, this is just more of the same of Diaz being Diaz and him just trying to bumble his way through how to be a frontier lord.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of that. And
Yeah.
it's very light novel. This is very much you're not getting pushed. There's nothing complicated in this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the other thing that it does well is there's still a lot here with Diaz. Some of the things that he is good, like he doesn't know a lot, but it's like he knows how to treat people. The scenes with him and Aimer and Senai, he clearly knows how to work with kids.
Yes.
Very well.
Yep.
When the small dog kid come, Canis and Eldon, even though he's not there, we're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do with them. They're kind of just there. They're not very useful. Why would you want... If you're willing to take them, that's great, but I don't know why you would want them. And Diaz is like, what do you mean? And like, he just treats them like dogs who can talk and can do a couple other things, but it's like, oh, right. Have them work like guard dogs for fighting. Because they're like, you can't give them a sword. They can't hold it and fight with it. It's like, okay, we'll make these giant overjaws.
Yeah.
And like armor for them like they're dogs. And it's like, oh, yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's a better idea. Yeah.
And it's that thing where Diaz has of he's I guess the best way to, he's so dumb he doesn't get like confused by certain things that other people apparently get confused by, but also just like he sees people as they are.
Right.
One of my few things that I don't like about the series when it goes on is there are moments where it feels like Diaz kind of gets pushed to the side.
Okay.
Or is just there to be the person that you explain things to so that you can tell the audience, and then he doesn't actually do anything, and like someone else tells him what they're going to do and Diaz is like, oh, okay. Or like, okay, Diaz, go do this, and Diaz is like, okay, does that thing, and then that's it. Here there's things he doesn't know, and so other people have to tell him stuff, and sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, but there's other things that he just intuits really well that makes sense for the kind of person he is. And this part of the story, you see that a lot.
Okay.
He feels like not just someone who's there and being told what to do, but like an active part. And yeah, he doesn't understand a lot of things, but the things that he does understand, he understands very well.
Gotcha. Yeah. I would agree with that. Because, yeah, some of the later stories, like, okay, Diaz is here, but he's not the main character all of a sudden.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, we have to talk to the noble person. So it's like Aimer and another character show up later, basically like, Diaz, say this. Diaz says it. Okay, now say this. He says that.
Yeah.
Okay, now say this. He says that. Hooray, we did it. Moving on.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's true.
Oh, okay.
But in this one, Diaz is playing a very active role with everything that's going on, because one, there's hardly any people there anyways.
That and it's still a point where he's doing that, and even that, like, there's parts where that happens later in the series, but it's not the whole series. It's not like the series falls off a cliff, but that's a thing that to me is set out in these early books. You don't have that at all.
Right. Yep. So I would recommend this because I like the first one, and because I like the first one, I also like the second one. And I think you feel the same way.
Yeah, if you like the first one, you'll definitely like the second one.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's a continuation from where it is, and you learn a lot more stuff, and it's very interesting, and it's very good. Alna and Diaz are great characters. Oh, we didn't even talk about it. There's a great scene in this where they have a huge argument about alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Because Diaz thinks about alcohol as like hard liquor, and Alna's like, no, like children drink alcohol. Because like she's thinking about, I think it's fermented mare's milk or something.
Yeah.
And it's like lightly alcoholic, where in history, like we would drink alcohol because humans can process alcohol and most other things can't. So you would mix water and beverages with light amounts of alcohol to basically be like a sanitizing agent.
Yep.
And so that would like help you be healthy. And like they have scenes going both ways where like Diaz realizes like, oh, this mare's milk is like extremely low alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're right, Alna, I get it. And then like also later they have a party and Alna like steals a barrel of wine. It's like, no, Alna, that's what I meant. You can't drink like that.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's like it's a really good relationship with the two of them.
Yep.
And so it's a very fun story.
Yeah. And the manga does a really good job of kind of showing all of this, and it takes some fun liberties of what's going on. Kind of, there's a lot of goofy moments that it tries to portray. It has some serious stuff, and it does a really good job of showing expressions and things like that. But this plays up like trying to be funny, and it does a really good job at it. So I recommend it. You recommend it. Mm-hmm. Definitely check it out. Even if you weren't sure about the first one, check out the second one. It's really good.
I think unless you actually hated the first book, you should check out the second one.
Yeah.
If it was anything other than I don't like the series, I don't want to read more of it, the second one is just an improvement.
Yes.
And is more. It starts to bring in other things, and it does a really good job.
So that's Frontier Lore Begins with Zero Subjects, Light Novel Volume 2, Manga Volume 3 and 4. We both recommend it. Have fun. And read.
Read more books. Get stranded in more open grasslands and fall in love with a girl with a horn on her head.
Maybe skip the first part.
Sure. You know what? Fine. I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can pull that off without doing that. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And with that incredibly important note that we've just told you, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Mudai Manga Book Club and Love and Relationship Improvement Podcast. I can't even make that into a sentence, so I'm just going to go back and start it over. Thank you again for listening to this episode of the Mudai Manga Book Club. If you'd like to find us in other places, you can listen to us on Podbean and other podcasting apps under Mudai Manga Book Club, or you can find video versions of our episodes on YouTube at Mudai Manga Book Club. And we announce when these new episodes are coming out and anything else going on our Blue Sky at Mudai Manga Book Club, which you can follow us there too to find out whenever new episodes are released. Let you know what the upcoming audio episodes are going to be if you are lazy and don't want to listen to the last one. And if anything should come up, like if we randomly have to skip a week because we all have crazy amounts of work and are traveling and can't record.
What? Who does that? Oh, yeah, I do.
Us, apparently. Yeah. Please like the episode, share the episode. We'd love to hear comments, feedback, suggestions, anything like that. Wherever you are, like and subscribe on YouTube, put reviews on the audio versions, anything like that. And if you have any specific questions and you want to ask us, you can send us questions and comments through that. Or you can email us at mudaimangabookclub@gmail.com. But with that, it's time for our final recommendation. Because mine is short and very specific, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So there's a specific thing that I said I was going to talk about it. And especially now that the Grammy nominations have come out, which can probably give you a sense of what that is. And if you've been paying attention to all the episodes, okay, you're like the only person to do that, which is awesome. Thank you.
It's a movie.
Let me know if you know what that is. It's not. But instead, I want to recommend a specific single song. And I'm specifically saying this because I specifically want you, Louie, to go and listen to this as well. Because it's one song. So we've talked about this a couple of times. I really like the artist Kendrick Lamar. Mm-hmm. I went to the GNX concert earlier this year. Loved his music. I've loved it for years. But I know that's not the kind of music for everybody. And I was listening to a bunch of different music over the last couple of weeks, and I went through probably my favorite album of his, which is Damn, which is actually the first album of his that I listened to. It came out in, I think, 2017, I want to say. Very, very good album. It is the first and so far only rap album to ever win a Pulitzer Prize. Huh. Pulitzer has some music awards too.
Okay.
It's usually for jazz. Yeah. It's basically been jazz the entire time it's existed. And then Kendrick Lamar's Damn album.
Okay.
And yeah, so he's the only rapper to ever win a Pulitzer Prize.
Weird.
For this album. And I know a lot of people who know a lot more about Kendrick Lamar will say, it should have been To Pimp a Butterfly. I disagree, but I understand where you're coming from. I think Damn deserves it. I think Damn is incredible. But I want to recommend specifically the last song on the album called Duckworth.
Okay.
Unless you're listening to the collector's edition, which when it's the first song on the album, it's a long story. It's another really cool thing about this album, but we don't have time to talk about why it's the first song of the collector's edition, the last song of the regular edition. There's a reason for it. Don't have time. Moving on. But the last song, it's called Duckworth.
Huh. Okay.
Kendrick Lamar, one of the things that he's good at a lot of things, but one of the things he's really good at is storytelling. Just telling a great story in a way that really grabs you and pulls everything together. So it's this 4-minute song. I'm not going to explain much. Almost all of it you'll get out of the song. There are some bits in it because it's the last track of the album that references some stuff earlier in the album that you don't have to worry about. And there's some audio stuff at the end that sort of like wraps this whole album together that if you just listen to the song, you won't get. But don't worry about any of that. This is a song about two people and what's happened to them. Almost everything in it is entirely contained in the song, and it's a crazy story. It's not the most unbelievable thing you've ever heard of, but it's like when you get to the end of it the first time, you're like, oh, okay, that's ridiculous. All you need to know, and you don't really even need to know this, but I feel like if you haven't listened to any of his music, it will help you if you know. The first person the story is about is a person called Top Dog, Anthony Tiffith, the founder of Top Dog Entertainment, at the time Kendrick Lamar's record label, and Kendrick Lamar now has his own label, but he still works really close to him, but the owner of that. So it's about him and one other person who will be introduced during the song, and in 4.5 minutes, he puts together this whole story and all these different things that have come from this thing that happened to Anthony when he was younger. And so many of what are considered Kendrick's best songs are songs like this. Duckworth, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, which is insane, but is way more complicated, and you need to know a lot more about living in Compton in the 90s. But is insane storytelling. The Heart Part 6, the good one, not the terrible one by Drake that isn't really easy to find anymore anyway, which is probably the easiest to understand and is about like his whole history with Top Dog Entertainment and like the label and all the people he worked with and all the things he did, which is a really beautiful one. But Duckworth is just this incredible collection of telling this story about a couple of people and the lives that they lived and what happened in a way that isn't just here's the story, but here's why it's important, here's why it's ridiculous, here's all the things that came from it, and not just why you should think this is a neat story, but why it matters to me in a way where it's not, hey, this is why I think it's important. He's just telling the story, and in telling it in this way, it's as intimate and engaging and emotional as it can be without him trying to say any of that.
Okay.
How do you take this? Basically, he's really good at storytelling. I've said that a lot. I'm going to keep saying it.
Okay.
This is one of his best, and it's probably the easiest for people who don't listen to a lot of rap music to get, oh, I see why this is a good story and why this makes a great song and like how he tells it and does it really well.
Gotcha. Okay.
The whole album, damn, is amazing and worth your time. But if you've not listened to rap music and you don't like it, give this one particular song a try. If nothing else, just to be like, hey, here's a thing that happened.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Duckworth. Duckworth, period. All written in caps because that's how all the song titles for Damn were written, all caps. If you just look up Duckworth, you'll find it instantly. But yeah, it's 5 minutes. You can spend 5 minutes. Go look it up. Louie, I'm literally going to send it to you right after this.
Okay. Yeah.
There's so many other songs in that album that are really good and are probably better as like pieces of art. Fear, Loyalty, Lust, XXX. Oh God, the one with U2. There's a verse in it where it just goes crazy in a way that it's like it goes all off on this one tangent and then slams back the other way halfway through it. It's so good. But if you're just like, I don't get this, I don't see why this is good music, this is one to give it a try.
Okay.
So what about you? What do you want to recommend?
So before that, when I saw that you wrote Duckworth, I'm like, is he going to talk about DuckTales? What is he talking about?
No.
Duckworth, a character from DuckTales?
I want to tell you something, but if I do, I'll ruin the part of the story.
That's fine. Yep.
There's a reason it's called Duckworth.
Okay.
If you know about Kendrick Lamar, you'll immediately know why it's called Duckworth.
Gotcha. Okay. I do not, obviously. So
if you don't, you'll understand at the end of the song.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah. It's very obvious.
Okay.
But no, it has nothing to do with DuckTales.
Oh, fine.
So what would you like to recommend?
So I would like to recommend...
Is it DuckTales?
It's not DuckTales. Though that is good, but not this week.
Okay.
I am going to recommend a new show that I finished called... You've probably heard of this. Wednesday. Yay or nay?
The thing that comes after Tuesday?
It's the name of a character.
From like the Addams Family, but it's like a modern show.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So this is a retelling of the Addams Family from the perspective of Wednesday Addams, who was the daughter of the two parents of the Addams Family. Yeah. This is on Netflix. It's 2 seasons now. The second season came out a couple months ago, or maybe, I watched it because, I had it on my list, and it's like, it's Halloween to watch a show about the Addams Family. It's really good. It's one of those... So both seasons kind of play out the same way. It's very much a detective show almost, where Wednesday is going around trying to solve a mystery, and stuff happens, and then more stuff happens, and she's trying to piece together all these things that are going on and trying to do these things. But it's under the guise of she is at a school for people who are kind of like her, where they're not super powered, but like they have like werewolves or gorgons or things like, or mystical creatures, or they have powers or things like that. So she's at a school for those people. She's trying to solve or do things to unwrap mysteries, but she is Wednesday Addams, so she plays a very serious, I guess morbid, goth kind of character. Very straight-laced on everything, but also like Addams Family kind of humor where everything is morose or terrible and things like that. So there are points where she is really not a very likable character just because of how she is. So they've also included a roommate who is, I don't think was in the original, but I'm not super familiar with all the Addams Family lore and all that. A roommate who very much a modern day kind of child in her early teens who is a werewolf, who is kind of like the complete opposite of Wednesday Addams. And obviously they're roommates, and it's about them dealing with each other in school, things like that, and trying to solve these mysteries. So there's a lot of Wednesday's trying to do stuff in her own way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it makes things worse, but it's one of those, it's a cool show, and the mystery is interesting, and you can kind of piece it together if you pay attention.
Okay.
Wednesday can really, at least for me at times, like, I really don't know if I like this character as a person. The actress who plays her is really good, but it's like, I don't know if I can stand watching this character go through this. Like, why are you doing it this way? Because she makes very strange decisions, but it fits with the character. So I was like, okay, that's not the way to do that, but okay, you can keep going. But it's really interesting. The first season was really good, that mystery, and then the second season kind of takes a lot of the things that were established in the first one and adds more to it. Like, her family was in the first season, but not really. In the second season, the whole Addams Family is there. In the first one, it's really just about Wednesday. So that the whole Addams Family shows up in the second season, and it's kind of there's more interactions family-wise, which was the big point of the original Addams Family, the show. It's about the family. This one is more, it's Wednesday is the main character, and the family are all the characters around her. But they weren't in really the first season. They're in the second season. So if you want like true more Addams Family, that's the second season. The first season is Wednesday and the school. But the school is more like, that's just the setting. She never goes to school, it seems like. There's really no time that she's actually in a classroom in the whole show. Even though she's at school for like a whole year every season. Mm-hmm. So it's 10 episodes-ish, I think. 8 or 10 episodes a season. It's on Netflix. Okay. It's really good. There's some... So if you like cellos, Wednesday plays the cello. And there's some really good clips on YouTube of like solos that she does with the cello. But they're like modern songs that she plays on the cello. It's really good. But yeah, so check those out if you have time. But Wednesday, it's really good. So first and second season. The third season has been announced, but it probably won't come out until at least next year. Okay. Well, next year's not that far from now, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. It would be very surprising if it was this year.
But it is getting a third season.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yep. Well, with that, that's going to be the end of this week's episode. Tune in next week, where we will be covering Coppelion, the first half of part 1, which is very vague. So what I mean by that is specifically chapters 1 to 10 of the manga, which is the first book and about the first third of the second book.
Sounds good.
So that's what we'll be talking about. Until then, have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
And for our big review today, we're going to talk about Frontier Lord Begins with Zero Subject. Let's try that again.
Frontier Lord begins with zero blah blah blahs. Oh, Cthulhu.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
So for our review topic, we're going to talk about Frontier Lord Begins with Zero Subjects. This is light. Okay, try this again. Third time's the charm.